Very cold day. Looks really nice out, but extremely cold and windy. Lots of snow. So we're just having an indoor day, Gemma. It's having an indoor day. And just some other pictures of my metal band. There's MrThrasha doing his thing on lead guitar. Sergey on vocals. I always like this band photo here. The photo shoot we did. There's MrThrasha. Okay, so this could be a little choppy. There's MrThrasha right there. This was about 10 years ago. We did our last tour, but check it out. This was singer Sergey, Steve on the drums, Alex on the bass. There's MrThrasha here. The sound may not be that great, but recorded on someone's cell phone 10 years ago. That gives you the idea. MrThrasha. We were pretty heavy. Barely even remember this song. I did write it. I believe it was an instrumental track. MrThrasha doing his thing. And now you'll know why they call me MrThrasha. MrThrasha. Bass player Alex. Still talk to these guys. I had some pipes back then. You did not want to mess with MrThrasha. Look at all the hair I had back then. Oh yeah. I was on autopilot. I lived for nothing but metal. Drummer Steve. This is a song written about my diabetes. It's called Pancreatic Failure. That's me, ripping it. I thought I'd give you guys a clue as to why they call me MrThrasha. Right? Just having a relaxing day inside, right, buddy? Yes. I wanted to show you guys a website called Setlist FM, which is where you can compile every concert you've ever been to online. You just look up the set and the date of the show you were at. This actually has gotten every show I've ever seen. Just about, except for a lot of local shows that might be unlisted, bands that aren't that big. But according to Setlist FM, I've seen, 406 concerts. A lot of pop-ups on this website, unfortunately. 406 concerts of 277 artists. Look at my sweet little girl. Daddy's just going over some of his show history. I've got a couple ticket books here. One of these I've shown before, but this stacked full of tickets. We're going to go through some of those, and another entire ticket book here as well. Metal shows, rock shows, blues shows, you name it. Got quite a few things to show in this episode, so it's a pretty neat database. Automatically calculates how many times you've been to each venue. Maverick's small club here in Ottawa, apparently I've seen over 27 shows just there, and that doesn't include all the shows I played there. the Baltimore, Maryland Death Fest, Montebello Rock Fest. It pretty much lists every festival, venue, everything you've been to. I'm trying to navigate this as I'm trying to use the camera as well. But starting from the beginning, I'm going to go through many of the bands I've seen from the very beginning, 1996, when I was 8 years old. And let's see how many bands you've seen as well. I'm going to go through all the names of shows I've seen. Let's see how long this takes. All right, Gemma, you ready to hear the long list of shows that Daddy has attended in his time? I thought so. It's going to be pretty long. Let's check it out. Can only use the click arrow here at the top of the screen. So we went through some of these at the legendary Star Stock. Now I'm just going to go through the bands. You can see the year I would have seen them. All right, so 3 Days Grace, Stained, Nickelback, the Polyphonics Soiree. I don't even remember what that was, but I'm pretty sure. Okay, the Polyphonic Spree, that was the opener for David Bowie. Yes, I saw David Bowie. Honeymoon Suite, Trooper, The Tragically Hip, Godsmack, Metallica, April Wine, Mountain Deep Purple, ZZ Top, Jimmy Eat World, Green Day, Anthrax, Judas Priest, Helix, Alice Cooper, Mastodon, Children of Bodom, Slayer, Lamb of God, April Wine, The Who, Sebastian Bach, Die Mannequin, Guns N' Roses, Leaves' Eyes, Blind Guardian, my favorite metal band, Blind Guardian, Beneath the Masker, Christian, Belphegor, Unearth, Slayer, Meatloaf, Down, Heaven and Hell, Megadeth, Dying Fetus, 5440, George Thorogood and the Destroyers, Grady, Steve Miller Band, The Robert Cray Band, Blue Rodeo, Jim Cuddy, John Fogerty, Slayer, Marilyn Manson, Weird Al, David Wilcox, Scorpions, April Wine, Arch Enemy, Machine Head, Anvil, Enslaved, The Faceless, Rotting Christ, Rob Zombie, Ozzy Osbourne, April Wine, Cauldron, Anvil, Tyresis, Job for a Cowboy, High on Fire, Children of Bodom, In Flames, Megadeth, Dark Tranquility, Divine Hearsay, Firewind, Arch Enemy, Catamania, God Forbid, Death Angel, Overkill. Yeah, that was the first day I saw Iron Maiden. Was a huge festival in Montreal. Death Angel, Overkill, 3 Inches of Blood, Symphony X, Hatebreed, Hammerfall, Mastodon, Typo Negative, rest in peace Peter Steele, Death Clock, Iron Maiden. First day I ever body surfed in my life was to literally save my life. I almost got crushed right when Iron Maiden hit the stage. It was absolutely brutal. Had to body surf to save my life. The Wailers, which is Bob Marley's band, without Bob, of course. Infected Mushroom, Snoop Dogg, Primus, At the Gates, Anvil, Cryptopsy, Testament, Judas Priest, real Judas Priest, Testament, Motorhead, Heaven and Hell, Fintroll, 1349, Suffocation, Carcass, Motorhead again, Moonspell, Dimmu Borgir. You'll see a lot of these bands pop up quite a few times. Danzig, Quo Vadis, Dismember, Christian again, AC/DC again, Wilco, Neil Young, War, Mantic Ritual, Christian, Destruction, Theory of a Dead Man, Motley Crue, Warbringer, Creator, Exodus, Obscura, Cannibal Corpse, Primordial, Moon Sorrow, Corpaclani, Enslaved, Opeth, Cattle Decapitation, Cephalic Carnage, Mayhem, Asphyx, Hail of Bullets, General Surgery, Immolation, played with most of these bands, Brutal Truth, Atheist, Bolt Thrower, and partied with 90% of them as well. Psy, Absu, Abscess, Aura Noir, Destroyer 666, Black Label Society, The Answer, AC/DC, Vader, Not Mystium, Marduk, Voivod, Evile, Creator, Immortal. That was a legendary show. Saw a guy get his ear ripped off. Gorguts, Watain, Malignancy, Nazgul, DRI, one of my favorite bands, Coffins, Autopsy, Repulsion, Asphyx, Melakesh, Incantation, Sadistic Intent, the Chasm? I think it's the Chasm. Portal, Deceased, Obliteration, Sinister, Pentagram. Got an interesting story on that exact show here coming up. I Hate God, 2002. I Hate God, Nirvana 2002, not the real Nirvana. Entombed, Obituary, Necrophobic, Converge, Iron Maiden, Rush, Melissa Aufdermar, Skeleton Witch, Cataclysm, Fear Factory, Halford, Mastodon, Anvil, Alice Cooper, Testament, Megadeth, Slayer. Monarch, Cardiac Arrest, Rioter, Destroyer 666, Enthroned, DRI, Blood Ceremony, Blind Guardian, Deicide, Destruction, Weird Al, Opeth, Morbid Angel, As I Lay Dying, Motorhead for the 4th time, Anthrax, Children of Bodom, Kiss, Weird Al, again, Lecherous Nocturne, Jungle Rot, Abigail Williams, Deicide, Van Halen, Kool and the Gang, Destruction, Alice Cooper, Iron Maiden, Creator, The Who, Cryptopsy, Trooper, Tear, Death Angel, Black Sabbath, Nile, Heart, Kevin James, Anthrax, Voivod, Dropkick Murphys, Apocalyptica, The Offspring, 3 Days Grace, Metallica, Slayer, Lamb of God, Twisted Sister, Hatebreed, Body Count, that's Ice-T's metal band, Symphony X, Epica, Exodus, Death Angel, Bad Religion, Overkill, Fleetwood Mac, the original Fleetwood Mac with every single original member. That was a night I'll never forget. King Diamond, Overkill, Exhumed, Voivod, Razor, Bolt Thrower, and one of my favorite war metal bands. Ringworm, Black Breath, Goat Whore, Weird Al, Bill Burr, The Temperance Movement, Randy Bachman of the Guess Who, Weird Al, The Cringe, Motley Crue, Alice Cooper, Vintage Trouble, AC/DC, Anthrax, Motorhead, Gravedigger, Blind Guardian, Enslaved, Jerry Seinfeld, Taka, Rival Sons, Black Sabbath, Piledriver, Exciter, all 3 original members, Garth Brooks again with his wife Trisha Yearwood, Napalm Death, Necrophagia, Venom Incorporated, all original members of Venom except for the original singer Kronos, DRI, The Addicts, Ice Cube, Limp Bizkit, A Day to Remember, Sodom, Billy Idol, Billy Talent, Guns N' Roses, Nervosa, Gravedigger, Blind Guardian, Grim Reaper, Against Me, Green Day, Midnight, Creator, Obituary, Red Hot Chili Peppers, DRI, Catfish and the Bottlemen, Green Day, Our Lady Peace, Guns N' Roses, Sacrifice, Verathrone, Exodus, Obituary, Weird Al again, Emo Phillips, Steve J of Weird Al, Jim Kimo West of Weird Al again, Black Star Rider, Saxon, Judas Priest, Joe Satriani, Emo Phillips, Foo Fighters, Greta Van Fleet, Stone Sour, Ozzy, Grave, Exhorter, Demolition Hammer, Autopsy, Unleashed, Infrared, Razor, Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, Yolanda Adams, Cannibal Corpse, Amon Amarth, Lamb of God, Slayer, Weird Al, The Raven Age, Iron Maiden, Demons and Wizards, Lizzie Borden, Tear, Aerosmith in Las Vegas, oh yeah, DRI in Las Vegas, it was a good one, Emo Phillips, Weird Al, Atheist, Suffocation, Weird Al, this is just this past year, Dying Fetus, Within Temptation, Iron Maiden, Raven, Riot Act, Bulldozer, Deceased, Hell Militia, Nordevil, and Carpathian Forest, most recent show I went to, Bulldozer. An extremely long list of shows that I've been to, and that's not all the shows that I've played in many areas of the map. But that is just a quick do-over of the calculated 400 and some shows I have seen. So this database calculates everything for you. It holds all your stats in there. So I suggest using this if you go to a lot of shows. It's a lot of fun. I'm going to show you this Pentagram album. If you've never heard of the band Pentagram, I saw them in 2010 at the Baltimore Death Fest in Maryland, and they're basically the Black Sabbath that never were. Their music is absolutely amazing, and next to Black Sabbath, they are the best doom metal band of all time. In my opinion, in my humble opinion. Bobby Lieblig, actually a big heroin addict, and that kept the band from going to the superstardom that they very well deserved. But when I saw them in Maryland 2010, funny story, and I actually have a video here that I found, 9-minute song, When the Screams Come. So I was at this.
If you're not careful, you're gonna burn because
There's Bobby right
when
there.
the screams come, you know you're dying in vain. Good night, we love you. God bless.
Okay, so the funny thing about this, I was doing a lot of body surfing in my time at this point. So, I mean, I was body surfing all day and night at this festival in Maryland through some of the greatest underground bands, many of which I just rattled off. So here's them rocking out. So at one point, I was body surfing over the barrier you'll see over here. It's this barrier here, and the security didn't catch me. They were actually being dicks to people all night. So the security did not catch me. My spine slid down the barrier, which was relatively painful. And I didn't know at the time, but I guess some guy behind me had yelled at the security and said, "Hey, you didn't fucking catch that guy." And then a gigantic fight broke out. Okay, so once this fight had broken out, you can't see it right here, but you are going to see me in a moment. Once the fight broke out, I just kind of sat on the barrier after I'd body surfed over and sat right in front of this legendary band. It was absolutely deafening. And they've kind of slowed it down here as this fight has broken out. So you're going to see the fight in a moment. I'm going to point out myself, but I guess this guy was standing up for me. I didn't find out till after, about an hour or two later. It's going, "Dude, that guy was standing up for you," and the security ended up fighting him. And you're going to see that in a moment. You're also going to see me sitting on the barrier. And then I'd walked backstage right after that. Okay, so here's the fight going on here. Sorry about some of the glare. Just dummying this guy. Okay, there we are. There's MrThrasha right there, sitting on the barrier, wondering, why is this guy causing so many problems when really he was standing up for me? There's my buddy Martin. I'm on Facebook. Marty Knowles right there, a good buddy from Montreal, just watching all the action. And they beat the crap out of this guy. These security were really rough on people the entire weekend, but there's MrThrasha just sitting there right in front of Pentagram. And besides Scott Carlson from the band Repulsion, that was pretty cool. So I enjoyed the rest of the set with him. Did not know really what was going on here. But there's MrThrasha right there, and there's the barrier that my spine slid down. I was quite buzzed, but there's MrThrasha right there. Vocalist from Melakesh right here. Also see a member, see Proscriptor from, oh geez, here we go. Oh, they had to fight him right out of there. It's got their members of famous bands standing around. Obituary was back there. The band just kind of played on slowly. Members of other bands, you see members of Melakesh. Obituary there, watching this brawl. Obituary standing over there to the right of the stage, and I'll just continue to watch Pentagram. Except for these folks who are watching this guy get beat up. When they finished out their set, that was one of the last songs. It was loud. I was standing right beside Victor Griffin, the guitarist PA. He's the guitarist on the other side. It was right in me and the singer of Repulsion's ear. The singer of Repulsion, the king of grind, had his finger in his ear because it was so deafening. This gives you a good visual of it right here. So security didn't say anything. As I said, they were pretty stupid. Didn't know anything about the bands or any of that. So I went over there into the tent, hung out with Obituary. And then, of course, Bobby and Victor came off of the stage, and I got to hang out with them. Unfortunately, all I had on me at the time was my bank card. But you're not going to not get Bobby and Victor's autograph. So they signed my TD Canada Trust bank card. And now it sits here in one of my Pentagram albums. Yep. And funny story about that is Kim Coates from Sons of Anarchy, Canadian-born actor, is a huge Pentagram fan and was going to play Bobby. Looks very similar to him. Was going to play Bobby in a film about Bobby's life. And I had talked to Kim about that when I met him at a Sons of Anarchy signing. And I showed him that card, and he couldn't believe it. He was like, "Whoa, man, you got Bobby Lieblig's autograph?" Did. Also had a beer with the guys from Obituary back there. Good times. Wow, remember I mentioned that band Nirvana 2002? This is a metal band. It has nothing to do with Nirvana. But I found myself again here. May 30th, 2010. I can see myself in the pit here. Check this out. This wild raging pit. There's MrThrasha right in there. I was a wild man. I'm gonna pause it and show you exactly where I was standing, but I'm right there. Okay, so hard to make it out. I'm gonna action it in a second, but there's me. There's my blondish, brownish hair right there, and my bolt thrower shirt. You see me right there. Keep your eye right here, MrThrasha. Guess I was standing still for a moment there. That's me though, there's me. You can tell it's me when I turn around. Wow. What a day in the sun in Baltimore, Maryland. We're actually playing a Creator song. It's deadly. So just taking a look at some of the ticket books here. This was the last time I saw Garth Brooks. Also, my original Garth Brooks ticket from 1996 is just beneath it. Look at this. Original Kiss. All 4 original members on their farewell tour. It was the first rock concert I ever went to. I was about 11. Some of the tickets have actually faded. This is Metallica, Deep Purple. The Fleetwood Mac one's still there, thank God. ZZ Top, saw them in the front row. That was the Rolling Stones and AC/DC show. I don't know how the ink on these have faded. Look at my David Bowie ticket. What's happening? The Judas Priest. It's disappearing, Robert Plant. Guns N' Roses, going to go through these. Seen Priest many times, same with Green Day. Some bands I'll see as many times as I can, especially if they're still bands with all their original members. The Who's got the 2 original guys, Roger Daltrey, Pete Townshend. Seen Slayer so many times. Even saw Meatloaf. My Green Day ticket is faded. That would be the first Green Day show I went to. John Fogerty. April Wine, Rush. First Weird Al show. That's actually right there. Neil Young. Heart. Motley Crue, Ozzy and Rob Zombie, Black Sabbath was a big one. Slayer, of course, Motley Crue, seen them many times. Ooh, so got some space. AC/DC I saw so many times, the original Back in Black lineup. Be original member, except for Bon Scott, of course. Forever be the loudest band. Out of all these bands I've gone through here, the loudest band you'll ever see, take it from MrThrasha, is AC/DC. I was deaf for about a week or 2 after seeing AC/DC. Van Halen put on a great show. Only got to see the Red Hot Chili Peppers once. Slayer and Marilyn Manson. Blind Guardians, my favorite metal band. There's one signed by the guitarist. A lot of these tickets are signed too. Some signatures from the guys in Testament here. Heavy MTLs, Green Day, Toronto. No, that was London, actually. London. Black Label Society. Zakk Wylde's Black Label Society. AC/DC in Buffalo. Weird Al in Hamilton. Like, I do not have ticket stubs for every show I've been to. I'm glad I got some Motorhead tickets in here, though. So many shows you go to, and I'm like, oh, man, no ticket. No ticket? Glad I got an Aerosmith ticket, because that was about $300 on the Vegas Strip, so worth every penny. This was a very, very quaint show. Weird Al at Turning Stone Resort and Casino in New York. It was the first time I got the privilege of meeting Al. It was a start to a very cool relationship. And his DVD shoot, which was right behind that he invited me to in Toronto. Said, oh, you're from Canada. You got to come to our DVD shoot, and we can have a meetup. Alice Cooper. Saw him with Helix. First time I saw Alice Cooper. First out of like 6 or 7 times. Old faded Nickelback ticket in the back here. Hey, take it from MrThrasha. You can see how much I've seen in my time. There are way worse bands than Nickelback. Tragically Hip, rest in peace, Gord Downey. Only rock show I ever attended with my dad out of all these, actually. I usually go by myself, but April Wine, a lot of hallucinogenic drugs for that. David Wilcox, George Thorogood, Steve Miller Band. It was a good show. April Wine in my hometown. Arena I used to play hockey in as a kid. That was cool. Blue Rodeo, seen many times. Scorpions, this had to have been one of the priciest tickets for one band. I think it was like $90, but glad I seen them. Signed by the vocalist of Machine Head. Saw them with Arch Enemy. These are more metal shows and local shows I played and stuff. Got Anvil. That ticket would be signed by Anvil. Nervosa is a female metal band. Arch Enemy, Dark Tranquility, Pagan Fest, Teresis. Here's the autographs of Steve Lips Kudlow from Anvil and Rob Reiner of Anvil. Seen Anvil many, many, many times. Most of my Anvil tickets are together. Chris in, they're coming to town in a couple of weeks. Seen them many times. I've gone to Pagan Fests, Black Metal Fests. Enslaved, it's an amazing Norwegian black metal band. I go to comedy shows too. Kevin James, Jerry Seinfeld, Goat Whore, Napalm Death, Creator, more Green Day. Here's a backstage pass from Weird Al in Calgary. Weird Al in Calgary, Alberta. It was a heck of a night hanging with Al and the guys, and that's the backstage pass from that. One year, I just pretty much just went and tour chased and hung around with Weird Al and the guys for a whole year. So, there's a lot of that. Actually saw Joe Satriani in a hotel the night before that show. Thought, hey, Satriani's playing here? Said, let's go. MetLife Stadiums from WrestleMania 35. Just for laughs. Jerry Seinfeld. Iron Maiden. Can never see Iron Maiden too many times, so I'll go see them any chance I get. Demons and Wizards. Blues Fest. Megadeth, Slayer, Alice Cooper and Testament, the Clash of the Titans 2010. That was a heck of a day. See Megadeth, Alice Cooper, Slayer, and Testament all on the same day. The following year is Motorhead, Kiss, Anthrax, Morbid Angel, Venom. Ooh, there's my Immortal ticket. As I mentioned, did see, I was body surfing a lot that day. Went over to the bar, and a gentleman was doing this, and I didn't know what he was talking about, and it turns out half his ear was ripped off. He was pulled down while body surfing, and someone ripped his piercing right out of his ear. Ripped half of his ear off. That was probably one of the most brutal things I've ever seen at a metal show. And the guy from Pentagram was not the only one to sign a band card. That was signed by Schmear of Destruction. First time of many I met him in 2009. I only had the old band card on me, so. Deicide, Destruction, Mantic Ritual, Creator with their logo. It's pretty cool. Seen Creator many times. Vader. I've pretty much seen all the bands in their heyday. Now most of them are not even bands. A lot of them only have one original member, and I just don't have money for that anymore. Seen them all when they had all 4 or 5 original members signed by all the members of Asphyx. That's right. Can't retrieve that in Canada. Gotta go to Baltimore, Maryland. First time I saw Cannibal Corpse right there. Gwar, everybody knows Gwar. That's signed by Beefcake. Rest in peace, sir. Danzig and Dimmu Borgir. Mother. Yeah, I saw Danzig and Dimmu Borgir. Fintroll. Motorhead. Carcass, signed by all the members of Carcass here. And my buddy Paul. Look at that. Bill Steer. They're all on there. Michael Amott. Autographs from the dudes in Death Angel. At the Gates at their reunion show. Oh yes, we were there in 2008. The Faceless Enslaved. It's Gigantour, which was Megadeth. And then Anvil, partying with Anvil again. Play with them. First time I saw my favorite band, Blind Guardian. It was actually at the 2015 show I saw Guardian where I got that hat. So, it really doesn't end. These ticket books go on and on and on. I have nothing left to prove in the world of concert going. I've seen everything. Got wristbands from festivals around the world. I guess there is an end to it. Last time I got to hang out with the dudes in Creator, Venter, and Mealy, they gave me a marker. They're actually endorsed by Sharpie. A band can sign so many autographs that they get endorsed by Sharpie. Makes sense. Okay, got an interesting variety of stuff here. We'll go through some pics and stuff I've caught over the years. VIP passes from Weird Al from different tours. The ridiculously self-indulgent Vanity Tour. The Mandatory Fun Tour. Check this out. VIP with Black Sabbath. And I got to hang out with Geezer Butler, Tony Iommi, and the late, great Ronnie James Dio, who signed this pass. Oh, that's his autograph right there. Ronnie James Dio. Some really interesting picks I've caught over the years. Obviously, nothing is more legendary than this pick I caught from the one and only late great Lemmy Kilmister of Motorhead. Lemmy. I do believe a bass player used a guitar pick, but that's very sacred. King Diamond. Saw him, Mike Weed from King Diamond, threw that right at me. That was a good one. This was actually used by Danny Corrales. It's just a Tortex pick, but look at that. Look how he wore that down. This is the guitarist of Autopsy and Abscess. Oh yeah, Gary Holt of Exodus gave me this. Legendary Gary Holt of Exodus has also played for Slayer. Bass player of Dimmu Borgir, Vortex. That was his pick. Ooh, of course, gotta have Mike, one of my favorite thrash metal guitarists, Mike of Destruction. Legendary German metal band I've seen many times. I forgot I had that pick. Mike. Gotten high with him before. Alright, we got... some of these picks aren't even labeled by the band, but I know I got them from legendary guitarists. Some of them, a couple of them are hard to remember who. I think there's one from Beeler. And of course this band, Skeleton Witch. This is actually a Tic Tac that one of Al's roadies spit out when he's dressed up like Santa Claus, and Al knocks him out on stage. If you're interested and you want to hear MrThrasha's music, check out my band's full album. It's about 9 years old at this point. We haven't played in a long time, but just look up Ceremonial 666 Ottawa. You'll find this. This is what the album looks like. The cover is from a World War book here. And all the riffs and lyrics were written by me. It's me rocking out there. You can hear the full album for free. It's about 7 or 8 metal tracks on here. If you want to hear MrThrasha on guitar. That's actually me on lead guitar right there. I haven't heard this in 2 years. Good mix of black and thrash metal. I always called us a black thrash metal band, but check that out if you're interested. Full album online for free. That's me on the guitar. We only got 22 likes. We kicked ass. Listen to that. It's my intro solo. It's Johnny. So yes, first show I ever went to, 8 years old, was Garth Brooks. Was a huge Garth Brooks fan as a kid. And first rock concert I ever saw was the original Kiss here in Ottawa. Skid Row and Serial Joe opened up for them. I went to the SARS Fest, Toronto Rocks, to see the Rolling Stones and AC/DC. Also got to see Sam Roberts, Sass Jordan with Jeff Healey before he died. Dan Aykroyd, Jim Belushi, The Guess Who, Blue Rodeo, The Flaming Lips, Rush. First time seeing Rush, seen them quite a few times. And of course, seeing AC/DC jam with the Rolling Stones. That was something else. That's about going to do it today. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope it didn't bore you too much. I wish I would have been filming through all my years of going to all these shows. Please like, please subscribe. If you're new here, subscribe and I'll let you know when a new episode goes up. Never know what you may be missing here on the MrThrash Show. Where we're gonna be, what we're gonna be doing, you just don't know. I'm an open book. You never know where I'm gonna be roaming. But thanks again. Check out Setlist FM. Start your own setlist database of all the shows that you've attended in your time. It can be a lot of fun. It's cool to go over all the sets, remember exactly what a band's played. You also have the ability to edit them yourself if you're on that website through, you know, your email and your password is pretty cool. Yours would look totally different than mine, I'm assuming. So I hope you enjoyed this for what it's worth. Very cold out here today, too cold to go do something, but what you doing, Gemma? There you are. Finding a place to do some business. I know, it's cold. It's blustery. It's brutal out here. Thanks again, everybody. Join in next time. I promise you, we'll go on another adventure. Stay safe, everybody, and stay warm. If you live in conditions like these. Where'd you go, Gemma? There you are. All right, say goodbye. We'll see you guys next time.